Seizure control within a group environment, a service group environment. That's what I'm going to talk about in particular. Again, this is going to hopefully be covered in an induction training course. We also want to bring more training in general for groups. After we've made sure that that client is rested on the floor, perhaps in a recovery position if it's possible, and supporting their head with a bag or anything that you can see that would be comfortable, then we call the emergencies, 000. If it's a group environment, the group leader should really delegate roles and responsibilities for their staff. So she or he could delegate the role of phoning the ambulance to a staff member, and that staff member would have to know the details of the client who's undergoing the seizure. Don't panic if you don't know everything, because you can always look on your phone at the ISP. So the emergencies will be asking you questions like, what conditions do they have, date of birth, whether or not they're having multiple seizures, whether or not their body's twitching, what's happening, and they'll go through the breathing check with you as well. So they'll count with you whilst you count the breathing fluctuation of the client. Then the group leader should also delegate a staff member, if it's possible, it's not always possible, should delegate another staff member to take away vulnerable clients, because this has often happened in my group as well. There's a few clients that get traumatized by seeing paramedics enter the room or the environment, and also to see our client suffering with a seizure. So we would also need to delegate a staff member to be sat with our client undergoing the seizure, to keep checking for responses, keep talking to that client to make sure that they're still listening. And obviously a lot of the times they won't be, because they'll be undergoing the seizure. But we have to check, all of us if possible, but especially that person that is down on the floor with the client or wherever that client's positioned, checking responses. They particularly have to be so meticulous when making the seizure observation record at the end of the seizure. So you need to be checking for eye movements, eye roll movements, twitching of the body, breathing. Before they've gone, they'll either suggest that they need to take the client to hospital. Sometimes, a lot of times, they ask us whether or not they should take them to the hospital, and we cannot, under any circumstances, make that decision for them, because we don't know. We're not doctors and nurses. But during that process as well, someone will also have to call on-call. So the on-call are aware, especially within 5 minutes of the seizure, on-call aware, and they can call the parents, the guardians, the loved ones, so that they're aware too. Because that's one thing that we don't want people freaking out about. We want people to be really competent and aware and calm and collected when a situation like that happens. And a lot of the antecedents for people with seizures, especially at focal, are they're not drinking enough water, they've not had enough sleep the night before, or in general, if they do suffer from a lot of seizures, it can just happen for no reason. But it's often in hot environments, lack of water. So please be ensuring that our clients are having a lot of liquid water, especially. They've eaten. If they haven't eaten in the morning, really we should try and get them to eat something as well. So there's a lot of things we can do to prevent, not all the time, but some of the time there is. And at the end of all that, then you make your notes, and the client notes, and please, at the end of it, say, please refer to seizure observation record, because that seizure observation record that you need to fill out, and if you don't know how to obtain one, again, you can either email myself or any other, or your direct report. Thank you from episode number 3. The dog wasn't here today because he's on the floor. Well, it's not today, it's still the same day as before. Bye.